bucket are we going to fill today? They could be on the call or not be on the call, or they could not even be in the company or related. Who and what are you grateful for, and who do you want to say thank you to? Who is going to go first? Who wants a gold?
I'll have a quick shout out.
Okay. Yes. Thank you, Sharon.
Shout out to Latasha, because she's always where you need her when you need her.
That is really true.
It's so true.
That she is. Thank you, Latasha.
Thanks, Latasha.
She's having fun over there, man, with you guys doing tech stuff. What else? Who else has a thank you to somebody? Fill somebody's bucket. Fill somebody's bucket. It feels good. Just because I can't see your faces doesn't mean I'm not going to make you talk. Somebody's going to talk or we're not going on.
All right, I'll say something.
Oh, there we go. Go,
okay, Terry.
I thank you. I would like to thank Leah Lambros Harbottle for always being there to answer every single question that I have. Every time I call her, she answers the phone. If she's busy, she calls me back within an hour. She's always there for me.
That's awesome. I love that. Thank you. She is very responsive, actually. Yeah, you're right. Because if I call her, she's very, yeah. We love Leah. Great. Thank you. Anybody else? I know I said one more, so we can move on to the next slide. And you can fill anybody's bucket at any time you want, by the way, you guys. Okay. Happy birthday. Happy August birthdays for everybody who has an August birthday. John, Jim, Chris, Sharon, Sam. Oh, 2 Sharons. Deborah, Sarah. So wait, today's the 12th. So Sarah, that's right. Happy birthday yesterday, Sarah. And Andy is today. Teresa, Paul, and it continues. We have a lot of August birthdays. That means what month was really interesting for parents? I don't know. You can just go 9 months back. Okay. Andy, Leola, Gavin, Garrett, Autumn, Elise, Stephanie, Jim, Angel, Carrie, Anne, and Paul are August babies, and we celebrate you and do something fun for your birthday with the current. Just so interested to see how all of the creative birthday celebrations happen. Has anybody done the caravan thing yet? I haven't seen anybody here do that. So, you know, where they drive by your house and they honk and then they throw presents out the window. That's pretty cool. Somebody could do that. Hot topics. So we've been covering, I will say, most of the hot topics on our Wednesday call, which has been called Mission Possible. And we were discussing changing the name of that so more people were aware what the call is. So on Wednesdays at 8:30 in the morning to 9, we do a half-hour call. We call it Mission Possible because it started in the lockdown and we were doing it every day. And it was like, hey, you guys, we can do this, right? So it was also, though, a key time to get updated information about what was going on, the changing climate, making sure we were doing what we need to do, pivoting with our clients. And it was pretty successful. And then we narrowed it down to once a week. So we're going to change the name to something like, and we'll take suggestions, but like what you need to know, or your weekly critical update of what's going on in the world. It's basically, and in the company. So that's what we cover. It's really good information. So I would encourage you to attend it. We also send out the link in our Friday emails that you guys get. So if you're not looking at all of the emails you get from us, look at your Friday emails, because that is when it has the week at a glance and it tells you what's coming up the next week. We have important links in there, good information. And jump on the Wednesday call. I mean, I would say kind of the things that we're doing now that are semi-regular, that are good to get onto, other than the team meetings, is our weekly Wednesday call at 8:30. And then we do a Monday mindset call, which is now combined with the Honolulu office. We have Big Island agents. Everybody's on that together. We have great speakers. That's Mondays at 5 p.m. right now. That's really the key things. And then of course, whatever training classes you're in as well. But the regular stuff, those are the methods we use to communicate to you other than me sending emails. So a couple of the hot topics that came up that so one was to remind you guys to look at your week at a glance and which has your upcoming events. It also has the link to our YouTube channel, which, yes, if you didn't know, we have a YouTube channel. That's where we archive the videos. So if you want to see that link and go watch some of the recordings, we announce things like first closings, capper announcements, which we do here too. We talked about the CE shop has a discount that they were offering this week at 40% off. So if you haven't finished your CE, it's a great deal to get that done. And then you can actually make money when we reimburse you for your CE, because we're reimbursing you $200, which is I think the full price normally for your 20 hours. So if you go get a discount, you're going to make money on that reimbursement, which is kind of cool. And then of course, Keone has the Carol Ball School of Real Estate has ongoing CE, which you can do as well online. We'll talk about quarantine in a little bit. We'll talk about Mega Camp in a little bit. Oh, another hot topic I wanted to let you guys know. Some of you might already have talked to Daniel Root about this, or me, but those of you who are in the Facebook lead team know that we have ISAs now that are going to be working with you guys. We also, though, if you are looking for an inside sales agent that you want to make calls to your database or leads that you have or online leads that come in that you really don't have time to be doing all the follow-up calls and the nurturing with your leads, and you want an ISA to do that, let me know or let Daniel Rood know, because we have ISAs now that are doing these things. And then there will also be they're also going to be doing things like database management and marketing, which is basically a key thing that agents need that you guys want to leverage. That way, if you don't want to hire somebody full-time, you can have somebody do some of your database management and marketing. I also was hoping to have a flyer today, so maybe Cheryl, you can follow up with Hannah on this. I was hoping to talk about Hannah and announce her thing and show her flyer today. I haven't gotten the flyer from her yet, but what I wanted to also let you guys know, which is pretty exciting, that I think I may have mentioned last month, is that we hired, so Hannah has been helping us here and there with some stuff. She was Colette's assistant, and she helps our market center with stuff, and she's got a marketing background. And so what we asked her to do is to provide services for you guys for your listings. We know that like some other companies that don't have caps have a marketing person that when you have a listing, they'll blast it out. It's usually branded under their company and not necessarily the agent, but they'll blast out to RAM, or they'll do a flyer, or you can send an email. They'll send an email to your database or give you a template to do that. So we hired her to do that for you. So for any listing you take, if you send Hannah your information on your listing, she will create, it's basically like an initial listing marketing blast packet for you at no cost to you. No additional cost. It's something we're providing and supporting you with. And so I want to make sure you know about it. Once she sends me the information on it, that email will go out to you. So do look for that. Maybe tomorrow, Cheryl, if you can see if we can get that in the week at a glance tomorrow, that would be great.
If I could interject for a moment, my last conversation with Hannah, it's not quite ready because she's designing a website that the agents will just, instead of emailing back and forth, they'll go onto this website. It'll be a total concierge service. They can select what they want, and it'll be handled just like that. So
that's awesome.
Those final touches are coming
Okay,
along.
so we haven't got it yet because she's making the system efficient and better so they can easily do it on the website and get what they want and have it created. That is great. So thank you for that. Okay, so it may be delayed slightly, but that's a good reason for it to be delayed. So we're excited about that. And the other thing I wanted to mention is if you know someone who was taking the real estate pre-licensing class or the exam And they need help navigating through what's going on right now, because PSI, there's a lot of stuff like PSI who does the testing, they had canceled, and then they had very limited spaces available. Anyway, we're trying to help people navigate through that if they're trying to get their license, or they moved here and they're getting their license here. Anyway, if they need help with testing or coordinating on licensing stuff, have them reach out to Keone is probably the best person, or Nicole. Actually, they could probably reach out to you too, Nicole, because we're getting a lot of questions about that. So if you do know somebody that's doing that and they're not in communication with us already, let us know. Okay, that's what I have for hot topics. Michelle and Nicole, you guys can give your updates as well. And then Michelle, I wanted to make sure that Michelle was on to talk about what we talked about yesterday about your brokers.
Michelle is not on. She's in a government commission meeting right now as the vice chair.
Oh, okay.
Lisa, I asked her for what she might like discussed at this time, and I forwarded her text to you just now of
awesome.
3 items to cover.
Cool. Okay, we'll check that out. So yeah, there were a couple things she mentioned that I thought were important. Insure sellers. Okay, so I'll just go through this now in hot topics, and then we can skip over her when we get to her slide. So she wanted to, okay, so yesterday we talked about ensuring sellers are disclosing known items on the seller's disclosure statement. We ran into an issue with an agent. So we were representing the buyer, and the listing agent, when they delivered the seller's disclosure statement, which of course the seller filled out, you never want to fill those out for clients, there was an item on there that was not disclosed, which later on was discovered. So that, and the seller was aware of it, and it turns out we're finding out that the listing brokerage was also aware of it, and they didn't disclose it. So what we want to stress is that if you are aware of an issue with the property that was either based on a conversation with the seller or prior information or whatever it is, and you look at that disclosure statement, which you should be doing when the seller sends it to you, and you see that that item is not on there. In this case, for example, it was a roof. They had indicated that the roof had never been repaired or replaced, and it turned out the roof had been repaired because there was a leak. And the listing agent also was aware of this, and yet the seller's disclosure was delivered to our buyer and us without that information on it. Now, obviously, we were representing the buyer, so it's not as bad, but it is because now the client, after they closed, discovered the issue with the roof, and they're already closed. So we're involved, whether we want to be or not. So the learning opportunity is twofold. One is if you're working with the seller, that you assure that the items that you may be aware of are disclosed. And if they're not willing to, then you need to talk to your broker. If they say, I'm not telling them that, right? We know where that goes. So then you need to get a broker involved. And then, on the buy side, the issue came up for us where the other side of that is don't recommend people, be careful how you recommend vendors. So in this case, the agent didn't just recommend a home inspector. They actually just said, oh, I have a great home inspector, I'll schedule it, and didn't even give the client the option to choose, didn't give them names of people, didn't, use probably ideal verbiage. And so now, and then the home inspector did not catch the roof patching, which they should have, and they didn't. So now that could come back to us where, well, my buyer's agent, my agent just set it up with an inspector they recommended or used. So the other side of that is recommendations, is that how you want to handle that is, so what I use is verbiage. If somebody asks me, do you have a lender? Do you have, because obviously a lot of our clients are off island, they don't know people. Do you have a home inspector? Do you have a term? Whatever it is, what I say is, these are the name, these are a few people, right? Because a few people is better than one, although it won't necessarily hold up in court, but a few is better than one. Or you could give one, but just say, this is someone, or here are a few people that we've had clients that have worked with in the past and been satisfied. Or, you know, where it's not, I'm recommending this person, or you should use this person, or I'm going to pick somebody for you. That way, if a situation like this comes up, like had that not happened with the buyer's agent, and they would have done something like that, or allowed the buyer to pick somebody, we would have been totally cool. I mean, not cool. Obviously, it's not a great situation, and we're going to handle it. But you hear what I'm saying. So two lessons there. Any questions about that or other input from you guys? Okay, you're with me. Those of you that I can see, like, just nod. Okay. All right. So those are two items that were kind of hot topics that she brought up. And then, okay, we talked about continuing education. Okay, that was it. Those were her big items. Next, a couple of really cool things happened in the last couple of weeks. One is we actually received 2 accolades as a company from Pacific Business News. One was that we made the 2020, the list, which goes off of 2019 data, for the top residential real estate firms in the state. And I mentioned this, I think, at the last team meeting when I found out about it. I don't know if I have the slide. But what's cool, so we were number 7, so we were in the top 10, which is great. And the other 6 companies that were ahead of us all have multiple offices on multiple islands, whereas we only had Maui last year. I mean, now obviously we have the Big Island, and you know, we have a couple other people, you know, spread about like on Kauai. But from just our Maui offices, just from you guys, we hit number 7 in the state. Whereas again, 1 through 6 were combined offices on multiple islands. So that's a huge win. So congratulations to you guys for that. That's awesome. That was from the stats in 2019. The other thing is that this was our 2nd year of the row that we, she put ticket purchase. This already happened. So this was last week. I attended it. But this was our 2nd year in a row that we were on also the 50 fastest growing companies in the state for Hawaii through Pacific Business News. So yay, very awesome. And those are things you can, I mean, I don't know if you think it's beneficial, you can tell me, but if you want to add stuff like that to your listing presentation and you think it helps for credibility, cool. I mean, there's obviously a lot of great things about Keller Williams in general as a company that are helpful, and I know they're doing business with you, but if it's something you want to use that's like a company thing, those are some cool things for you that you guys can use. And it was virtual, so I did attend the thing last week. Reminder to join our Facebook group if you're not a member and you are on Facebook. This is the link below, and basically, or you can just look up Keller Williams Realty Maui Team Only Private. That's the name of it. We like to have you guys on there because we do disseminate information that way. If it's really critical, we're going to send out an email as well, or you'll get it at Week at a Glance. But people disseminate information, and then you guys also do some masterminding and brainstorming if you're looking for some kind of a resource. So those are really good. And sometimes you're going to put your listings up there. Say you get a listing agreement signed and it's within your time period, or we can mark it internally. That's a cool thing to do as well. So check that out. I wanted to remind you guys also the disappearing cap. It says introducing, but this has been available for quite some time. And some of you have taken advantage of it and a lot of people haven't. And then I realized a lot of people don't know about it because some of the conversations that I've been having lately, and they were like, wow, I had no idea this was a possibility. I'm interested. So if you are doing business with an agent, and part of the reason I'm bringing this up again is because Dylan has been helping with making phone calls to co-brokers, meaning say you close a transaction or we've closed a transaction with somebody that's on the other side. So you were the listing agent and somebody else from another company was a buyer's agent. Well, Dylan's calling those people saying, hey, thanks for doing business with us. We really appreciate you. And he also may call you and say, hey, you know, Gina, you closed a transaction with Bob, not our Bob, but a Bob from another company, say, and how did you like working with Bob? Do you think he's a great agent? What did you specifically like about him? So if you get a call like that, that's what it's about. And Gina says, Oh yeah, Bob was great. He was an excellent communicator. He was really on top of it, really nice guy, win-win guy. He was awesome. Then Dylan will call Bob and say, hey, Bob, I was talking to Gina. She said you did such a great job. You're a great communicator. Thank you so much for doing business with us. And then that can lead to a business consultation. By the way, is there anything that I can do to help you? Would you like to meet and talk about your business and share some strategies? And that could turn into Bob coming on board with the company, because Bob might not be super happy where he is. And so what I'm saying is, let's say Bob joins the company and Bob is a capping agent. And because of him doing business with us, and Gina had that conversation with Dylan initially, he comes on board, he picks Gina as his sponsor, and Gina gets a 25% reduction in her cap next year, or whatever the anniversary date is. So when Gina resets in November or December, say for the next year, Gina's cap would be reduced by 25% because Bob came on board and he's a producing agent. So you can literally eliminate your entire cap and pay the company nothing, actually have us pay you for being in business with us, because we grew with somebody that you did business with. So if you want more information about that, it's basically can be that simple. That's one of the strategies that we're implementing, so that you guys don't have to worry about the recruiting part. It's really, who are you doing business with? The other thing is, there is a section in your green sheet, and maybe those of you who use Jamie can chat with her about it, or we'll talk to her, but there is a section in your green sheet that says, who's the person on the other side? And by the way, do you think they're an agent that could be a fit for our company? Please fill that out, or say yes or no, or I don't know, or you can call them if you want. But that's a way for me to know if it's somebody I should be in conversation with. And maybe I already am. So it's also another thing for me to say, if I've been talking to them and nobody referred them to me, and you're doing a deal with them and you put their information on the green sheet, now they're connected to you. So it's another opportunity for you to benefit from the disappearing cap if they were to come on board. Any questions about that? I'm reminding, because it's been a long time since we really talked about this as a group. I mean, we're going to grow regardless. You'll see how many people joined us in the last month. It happens every month. So I would love to see more of you and help more of you not only disappear your cap by referring great agents, but also get profit share. I mean, you also get profit share. We shared 15,000 last month, I think 26,000 the month before. So it's I don't want you to focus on it. It's not your job. You should be selling and doing what you do really well. I'm just saying we can support you in that and do the recruiting for you. Questions, comments? Okay, let me know. All right, next, some things that are coming up training wise. This is a big one. So there's a few things that I always want to focus on and say, like, kind of these are the most important things for you guys to be aware of, because I know we have a lot of training going on. Anytime we have special guests doing trainings, those are typically things that you're going to want to chime into and attend. I know some of you or a few of you are still in the new Bold, and we'll talk more about Win with Sellers in a minute. I have a separate flyer. Ignite is going on. So anybody's in the coaching program, and if you're not in the coaching program and you want to jump into an Ignite class, please do. There's great fundamental foundational things that we cover in there that help any agent, seasoned or new. Reminder that we have the wellness stuff going on, all the activities for wellness. So if there's going to be a beach walk at Sugar Beach, if you want to participate in that, that's happening on Friday. That's tomorrow. And then we have bring your own coffee and command, right? BYOCC, bring your own coffee for command, I guess, which I heard that's been going really well. So Latasha, they'll talk more about that. Latasha, you can talk more about that if you want in a minute when you come up. And then the Monday mindset calls, which I mentioned, are Monday at 5. And then every Wednesday, Mission Possible, which we're going to change the name to something. And then the last Friday of the month, there's a virtual Palhana, which, I don't know if we're going to continue to do that because it's not like a huge hit. So I get you guys are done at the end of the week. So that's totally fine if we don't want to do those anymore. Okay, so this is another big one that I wanted to stress and really encourage you to do. When we were looking at the stats, and obviously our inventory, where do we need to be focusing our time and attention right now? Buyers or sellers? Where would you guys rather be focused on right now? Getting listings or helping buyers, if you had to pick? It's not a rhetorical question. Somebody tell me. Unmute. Who do you want to work with? What do you want to be working on right now? Listings or buyers?
Seller. Listings.
Listings. You always want to be working on listings. Thank you. And especially now because inventory is low and most sellers or most owners don't know that they can get a great price right now. So Win with Sellers is the best class that KW has about working with sellers, finding the business, getting the business, how to work with sellers at a high level. So we are doing a series which Chad is hosting out of the Honolulu office, but Colette kind of started the whole ball rolling and we'll be co-teaching some of it. And we have guests teaching these. So today is the first one from is it 1 to 2 p.m., Cheryl? Or it's 1 to 2. Okay.
1 to 2.
1 to 2 p.m. And today we have, and then it goes on every week at that time, every Thursday from 1 to 2 p.m. through October 1st, because there's that many series and topics. So the first one that is today is Charlene and Rustin Tong, who are a top couple team in the Honolulu office. And they have been absolutely slaying the business from lockdown to today. So they're doing some things right. They're great on the listing side and on the buy side. You've heard Rustin talk about the buy side. So I highly recommend that. Yes, it will be recorded and it will go out in your, probably your week at a glance. And there's going to be other agents on it from other places too. So it's a good opportunity for networking as well. So jump on those. This is the Bring Your Own Coffee or Tea for Command. And that is Tuesday the 18th and Thursday the 20th. So Latasha, you can touch on that a little bit more, going through the, command training basically. And it's our tech wizards, Latasha and Robert.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, you want to add?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, real quick, we also have added a new component. So it's also broadcasted live on Facebook. So if you are out and about and you're walking or whatever, you can join in live Facebook and you can see the stream that way. But it's been really good. We've had a great response. We've been watching, doing some diagnostics, some tips, and then also jumping in and getting involved directly with the agents with their questions, and also sharing screens and getting the answers instantly. So it's a great opportunity if you have any command related questions. So thanks.
Awesome. Thank you, Latasha.
Yep.
All right. Congratulations to our cappers who capped since the last time we saw each other. We have our Montoya team, Nancy and Mike. So congratulations to them. And congratulations to Celeste Molena, who also capped. I'm super excited about that, in particular because she wasn't a capper when she joined us. And she capped. So it warms the little cockles of my heart when we grow a capper from within our program and training. And she was actually a seasoned agent when she came on board, but she wasn't really able to kind of take advantage of that level of business. So super happy for her. And of course, for those of you who cap consistently, it's awesome for you guys. Jonathan Udis, who had a great sale, capped. So, and that's a fun picture. It's totally his personality. He's great. And then Anne, congratulations to Anne too for capping. And by the way, thank you for those of you who turned out at the event with Calvin and Dean at Dean's Listing. That was, I don't know if you, I'm hoping you agree with me, but I didn't realize how much I needed that until I was there. Like, it was the greatest thing. And I get that, yes, we have to be safe and social distance and be aware. I have to tell you how much of a wonderful time I had hanging out with you guys that were there. Like, I just missed you, and it was so great to hang out. And seeing Anne's picture reminded me because we were hanging out too. So it was so wonderful. And I think it was a great event, and we just have to still do that once in a while. It's just really important for us to be doing that. Plus, it was great content. So thank you to those of you who came and showed up. I thought it was fun, and we got a good feedback from it. Congratulations to Todd for capping Hudson, and then Carrie Nicholson, who is on the Aloha group. So yay to them. Congratulations to those who had their first closing with our office. So Karen Olson, Luke Teams, and then on the Big Island, Chris Lieto and Damon Quintana, both closed over there. So congratulations to them. Highest closed volume for August. Oh, must have been from July. She has August on here, but Cheryl, that's July, right? Numbers, I'm guessing. It's for the August meeting, but July numbers. Okay, I don't know if she's still on here.
She's not on the call, but yes, it's July.
Okay, perfect. So Jonathan mentioned he capped. Well, he had a $14.5 million sales, so cool. That helps. And then he was the top GCI earner. And then Team Kaikoa, also highest closed volume, and groups was the 808 team. So congratulations to you guys. And then top individuals, listings taken volume was Karen Olson, Dean Otto written volume, Sue Deloria listings sold units and listings sold volume. Top individuals continued for listings taken and written units. There was actually a three-way tie, and it was all Big Island. So Shiaki's Kona, Bruce, and Jared are Hilo. So those guys are writing a bunch of deals. So basically, they each wrote 7 contracts in July. So that's pretty cool. There's a lot of business going on there. And then top teams for August, Team Kaikoa, Randy and Liza, and Kay. So closed volume, closed units, listing sold units, and volume and gross commission income. Congratulations to the Blue Marlin team. Listings taken units, written units. So congratulations, Derek and Elizabeth. And then the Maui team, Mark, Andy, Kristen, listings taken volume and written units. Great job, you guys. And then top groups, Premier Global Partners, listings sold volume and listings sold units. That was a tie, okay, with the 808 team. And then the 808 team in listings taken volume and units, written volume and units, closed volume and units, listings sold units, and GCI. Yeah, we're seeing a lot of activity picking up again. I mean, your July, you guys, was, other than January, closings, your July closings were the best month out of the year, January and July. So go figure, not super surprising there with what's been going on, but I applaud you for keeping moving forward, figuring it out, and just making it happen, doing what it takes to make it happen for your clients. So I'm proud of all of you for doing that.
May I jump in for a quick moment?
Yes, jump in.
Really quickly, for all of the winners for Westside, I did a custom award that I will put in their mailboxes. So the people that won awards for July, just check your box after tomorrow, and your awards sign should be in there. So.
Cool. We like awards. Thank you. Okay, welcome to those who have joined us since our last meeting. Stacy Wood, Andy Justice, Dan Parkovich, Ellie Kato, Alan Takeshita, I said that right, Kinga Ritchie, Mackenzie Guzman Martinez, Matthew English, and then on the Big Island, Lisa Bell, Roxy Van Bockel. I think it's Brockle. Not Bockel, but Damon Quintana, Kay Howe, Abril, and Chris Machold. So welcome to everybody. And now you'll probably notice, if you haven't, those of you who are on our Facebook page, we're more consistently, because Hannah is helping now too, we're more consistently posting people coming on board and just kind of acknowledging people more consistently. So that makes me happy too, and hopefully you guys as well. And then you'll see those in your week at a glance emails as well. All right, updates. So I gave Michelle's updates already, and yeah, I guess she's in some kind of a commission meeting or government affairs meeting, or I don't know what. Nicole, you're up. Our head PC.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Awesome. So, gosh, the biggest thing right now is that we're working on finishing up our third round of Ignite. And what some of you could help me with is we've got some great agents on the West Side, and some of you are so talented at what you do and what we're looking at doing. So this is actually the third round of the brand new Ignites. We're feeling like we've got a handle on it and it's doing great, and we're ready to start bringing in some guest teachers. So, you know, there's a lot of rock stars on this call. If you guys are interested and teaching is something that you'd like to do, you know, this is the company where we want to give back our knowledge and share and help, please reach out to me. I'm definitely looking at on our next round, bringing in some guest speakers and bringing in some guest teachers. So let me know if you guys are interested in that, because that would be absolutely awesome.
So right now, Nicole, I know Todd has done that. Todd
Yep.
Hudson, Lee Potts has done that.
Yep.
I think one of the benefits to doing that for you guys to think about, I mean, one, it's great to connect with some of the other agents in the company and to offer your expertise, which is really helpful. So it's coming from contribution. However, the other thing that's really cool about it is you actually learn, and if you want to practice teaching or, you know, speaking or whatever, it's a good practice for that, but you actually learn more by teaching, right? And we found that. So one of the reasons that I know the material as well as I do, and I can coach people to do what they need to do in their business to succeed, is because I taught it. I was the only one teaching the material for when we first opened. So, and I continue to teach and learn the material. So like what we've done in the past with our Agent Leadership Council, or some of you guys, if there's a topic you want to master, like Nicole can share with you what the topics of each of those sessions are that she would probably have you speak on because you're doing well. But if it's something you really want to master, like, I don't know, maybe you're not great at doing listing presentations because most of your business has been referral, and yet now you're getting opportunities to go to bat to actually try to get a listing, or you want to be able to do that more, you can work on that material, and then you're going to learn it and be able to help teach it and give your live experience. So anyway, just a side note of some of the benefits of jumping in and doing that.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, some of the main topics are prospecting, marketing, seller appointment, buyer appointment, negotiation skills, financing basics, which is actually financing your business and running your business from a good financial standpoint. So there's some awesome lessons to be learned in there. And on top of that, I really encourage all of you, you know, I would say when Ignite comes around, even if you're a seasoned agent, like jump into one class. You'd be amazed, because every time I teach it, there's not an exception to the rule that every time I teach, I go, oh, I could be better at that in my business right now, right? So it's just such an awesome, awesome experience. And being a teacher, yes, absolutely. It's one of the best ways to be looking at what you've got going on and up-level your own business. So
we're talking about one day for, I don't know, an hour once a, how often?
Yeah, about an hour. Yeah, we rotate through. It's about 6 weeks to get through the class, and then we do about a 2-week break. So it's about every 2 months. We really run it through 6 times a year. And the actual lesson is an hour to an hour and a half. And yeah, so we're also looking at people who want to do, like, come in and actually share. So we do a block in the morning of teaching, but then in the afternoon, we also have a block that's sort of, we do it for different things, whether it's command or contract training. But for some people, you know, coming in and doing like a live, you know, seller's presentation or buyer's presentation, if you're willing to share something like that. So if you have something that you want to share that doesn't fall in those boxes of Ignite, please let me know. We want to open this up and really start bringing a lot of value to the agents that are coming and taking Ignite. So
love it.
Yeah.
Two other additions, things that I would add that can be great about that is, if you're looking to build your team, this is where the talent pool comes from, is our productivity coaching program. So if you're looking for talent, which is one of the reasons why Todd was doing my career nights and helping to teach, because he's looking for talent for his team. So, and that's fine. So you can meet people and see who's engaged, who's doing a good job, get to know some of the people if you're looking for somebody to work with, or say, you know, they could also be a referral partner for you, because not everybody that goes to these training classes, a lot of them don't live on the West Side. And so now you're meeting agents that are in other parts of the island that don't have relationships with other agents yet, and maybe is a good referral partner for you for a West Side business. So those are just another, like, I'm good at finding the little incentives.
I love that. And don't forget, there's also Big Island agents. So
there's Big Island agents too.
Yeah,
Yes,
there's relationships to be built with Big Island agents as well. So yeah, there's so many benefits to it. It really is pretty awesome. So we've really been focusing in on that. And then the other piece is we're really focusing our existing agents on video. Like, you know, I keep saying we're kind of in the wild, wild west right now. Like everything's a little up in the air and we don't know what business of the future is going to look like. But I think videos are going to be pretty important. So we're really focusing everybody in on like, what are you doing with videos and your social media, and how are you up leveling your videos and really showing up? Because I think, you know, I mean, look at the success of things like TikTok. I mean, you know, there's so many opportunities out there that we haven't.
Whether you understand it or not.
And I don't. Right. But it's kind of like we have to really think outside the box these days. And so that's kind of the focus of what we've been talking about a lot. So that's what's going on with the productivity coaching program. Yeah. So reach out to me if you guys are interested in. And by the way, even if you're kind of a newer agent, you haven't done a whole lot and you want to teach and it's a passion piece for you, reach out, please. Like, you don't, you know.
Yeah, we like to grow instructors too.
Yep.
I mean,
100%.
So. All right. Thanks, Nicole. Great.
Pleasure.
I thought we had talked about this last meeting, but Cheryl said the slides weren't in here because we did it on the central, because I have like 3 different meetings a month. So this is an update. You may have seen emails from this from KW. I just wanted to let you guys know the National Social Equity Task Force that KW created met. I'm just going to kind of read the notes that it gives updates a few weeks ago to open the discussion. It was actually more than a few weeks ago now. It's probably like maybe like 6 weeks ago or more, about how we can take action within the company to create the best work environment and circumstances for everyone. We obviously have office policies that we follow. We have a conduct policy that people sign when they come on board. But basically they created an open forum, and then they have regional now task forces, and are asking market centers to appoint people to task forces. So for us, Liza Rivera is our kind of social equity task force ambassador, who is on Randy's team. If you don't know her, Liza Rivera, she's one of our agents. So if anything comes up, or there's any suggestions you have, or you want to see something implemented within the company, or concern comes up, or you have an issue, you can go to Liza Rivera. You can, of course, come to me. But we want to make sure that we are having the conversations where they need to be had. The purposes behind creating this, as far as Gary was concerned, is creating a legacy worth leaving for future generations, which is part of our mission. Advocacy and training to promote homeownership and entrepreneurship in the Black community, or it could be other communities. I mean, really any potential community that could be not included, right? Or being prejudiced against. And obviously we follow, a lot of NAR's guidelines in terms of the housing community. So these are things that obviously shouldn't have happened anyway, but we want to be aware and sensitive to it. Creating diverse representation and leadership roles, inserting diversity training into existing training that we have. So one of the things that they'll do is look at the training that we're doing and look at ways to, if there are things that need to be updated or changed, and diversity and inclusion within KWRI. So they wanted to make sure that they had a policy and things that they were implementing as a company. Okay, thanks, Nicole. So that's happening. The sub-task forces were formed. I think those already were formed already. And Latasha, are you involved? Are you guys having meetings on that? Because weren't you and Dylan and Liza meeting?
Yes. So we are making progress. We were actually in the research stage in terms of coming up with a curriculum, so we didn't want to recreate the wheel. So we are representing Maui and the islands very well, because we are, as of now, the leading market center in terms of formalizing an actual pilot program workshop.
Cool. We love being the leader in things. So yeah, just keep us, maybe Latasha, if you want to add in whenever we have these team meetings, if you have updates, we can just have an update slide, or we can talk about when you're ready, or when the program's, when we know what we're doing, we'll talk about that.
Absolutely.
And then of course, fair housing. We haven't, your fair housing training happens when you get your license, and then it happens again if you get your broker's license, and then it happens in your semi-annual or annual risk management training and your code of ethics training, and that's pretty much it. So, I encourage you to be very familiar with the Fair Housing Act. I think all of our agents pretty much are. We haven't, knock on wood, run into any challenges over the last 5 years. It's just something to be aware of if you want to revisit that. And when we, okay, here's where it shows up sometimes. I'll give you a real world example. You know how you have to send all of your marketing to be approved and all of your listing verbiage in your public remarks to be approved by your broker or by Michelle? And she might come back to you and say something like, hey, you need to remove the word walking from walking distance, or whatever. And you might go, you know, that's an example. That's a real one that happened. And you go, oh, I can't say walking distance, you know, or as opposed to close proximity to, because you could be violating fair housing guidelines. Like, there's reasons for those things. So that's an example of where it shows up in your business every day. Realtor, public remarks, marketing pieces, catering to certain types of people and not others. So it shows up a lot in like advertising related things, I'd say more innocently than anywhere else. So those are the things you probably want to pay most attention to. A blatant one would be you're working with a seller and they get an offer from somebody and their seller says to you, where are these people from? Looks at the name of the buyer and says, well, wait a minute, where are these people from? What nationality are they? And what's the answer to that if a seller asks you that question? What's the answer to that if the seller says, oh, what nationality are they on the contract when you're presenting an offer? Anybody want to get another gold star? Come on. I haven't asked you to participate for at least like 10 minutes. Tell me what you would say. If a seller asks you what nationality the buyer is when you present the contract. Has this ever happened to somebody, just out of curiosity, on this call or something like that? Anybody have a story? Are you guys really listening or just like on the call? I'm now concerned because I can't see your faces. I might make it mandatory that I have to see your faces. Thank you, Dean. Thank you, Dean, for showing me your face. Terry showing me her face now. Who's going to answer that question? Come on, you guys. What would you say to a seller if they ask you that question? Or has that happened to you? That if they ask you about the nationality of the buyer, I gotta like quiz you once in a while, make sure you know.
Can you say by law I can't give you that type of information?
You can say I can't give you that type of information. Yes. Thank you, Robin. You would also, so basically,
Or according to real estate law?
According to the Fair Housing Act, whatever nationality the buyer is not something that you would base your decision on in terms of the offer. The offer is based on the merit of the offer. That is irrelevant. And if it's a concern to you, then I will send you, you know, the Fair Housing Act guidelines so you can take a look, because you cannot be discriminatory. You can never make a decision based on anything that would be considered discriminatory. So yes, along the lines of that, because it is illegal in a sense. And you would never want to say, oh, I think they're from wherever. So thank you for participating. Good job. Good job. All right. Next, Mega Camp. So this is, registration is open for Mega Camp. It's going to be September 15th through the 17th, virtually offered, first time in history that it's virtual, where we're not flying out to Austin to attend it. Super excited about it. There's a lot of incredible breakout sessions. If you haven't been to the website, go to megacamp.kw.com, check it out. The only thing I'm still waiting for, and the reason we haven't sent out our own office email about it yet, you're getting them from KWRI, but is because I'm waiting for them to tell me what time of day the sessions are going to begin. I'm anticipating they will start early, Hawaii time, pretty early, possibly a little bit too early to wake up at 3 a.m. But, you know, I'm also waiting to confirm that they're going to be recording the sessions. I believe they are. So it still would be worth it to register, even if the sessions start early in the morning. Some of you are really early birds, so even if it's like at 5 a.m., you're cool. But just know that if they are recorded, I mean, this is the best stuff, you guys. And if you can get up, even if it is early or not, and you're in the mastermind and breakouts, it's such a great opportunity for you to connect and network. And probably more people will attend because they can attend virtually now. So just be aware, it's one of the two best conference, I mean, it's one of the two big conferences we have every year other than luxury, and it's, and family reunion, and it's an awesome, awesome time. Anybody want to give a quick testimonial on Mega Camp? Don, Dean? Who's been on this call? Take my word for it, it's awesome. Just give me a thumbs up, Dean. All right.
It is a good one. I've attended 2 of them, and they really are. That's probably the best educational conference that we have. I think that's where the best breakout sessions are and the best sort of education. The other stuff, there's a lot of this is coming up and this is great and this is what's happening, this is what's coming. But I think Mega Camp is more based on education, which is why I like it.
Thank you for that. Yeah, and the education is different because it comes directly from mega agents that are killing it in the business, and they're sharing what they do. That's the main purpose of this, is Gary interviewing agents, and this is what they're doing. So you really get all of those takeaways, and then you have the masterminds and breakouts. Thank you, Dean. Lifeline, this is this is a training. It's kind of like a talk between Gary and other people that they have through your Connect page. So check out those topics. There's some great topics in there, and he interviews some really good people. And then now we're going to move on to Latasha to give us a couple of the tech updates. Then we'll wrap it up.
Awesome. So I'll be very quick. Couple of things I want to stress from not only the new series that's starting today, but in general, the big push within KW is really working on smart plans and making sure that agents have everything that they need. When we did our smart plan, Robert and I, we really focused on the importance of having a script. And we had a couple of scripts and shared some resources on that. So if you didn't watch that, you may want to if you are doing smart plans. And then the big thing is we talked about tips for Twilio. And then the importance of making sure that your Twilio account has an 808 number and how to do that. So if you have any questions about smart plans or command in general, definitely reach out to us for a 101. Example, yesterday we met with the entire Aloha group because they had some questions around DocuSign and command. So we'd be more than happy to meet with anyone that needs or has the need. The other thing, I thought it would be cool to have a specific Westside tech tip update. So for those of you that are utilizing smart plans already and are also using Twilio, you may want to consider this. Within your marketing profile, you have your name, and then once you're completed your marketing profile, there will be a field that says team name. If you are not a team or part of a team, you may want to consider adding the additional tag, Keller Williams Realty Maui. That keeps you in compliance from a marketing standpoint. But what it also does is when you start sending out smart plans, it'll come up as, you know, Nicole Burns, and then it'll say your agent. It's always good to let them know where you're coming from. So if you put in the team name, Keller Williams Realty Maui, or if you're on Big Island, you know, Keller Williams Realty Maui, Big Island Division, then that's another marketing compliance that you're hitting. Now, obviously, if you're in a team, then you will put your team name. But that's a quick tip that I wanted to share. Any questions, reach out to us. We're more than happy to do 101. Just email me at Tech Concierge, and I or either Robert or both of us will join. So thanks for all the support. And that's kind of the highlights.
Thanks, Latasha. Do you want to go through the stuff that we did on the last meeting with these? I don't know if these guys heard about these, like the kit, the home buyer kit, and
yeah,
because we have the slides in here, the home buyer kit, and then the Instagram content to create Instagram stories. Do you want to talk about these?
Yeah, so we actually, so the first time a home buyer kit seminar, that's something that we are going to be rolling out soon. We are really focusing on smart plans, but prior to that, we were doing the sellers and listing presentations. So we will circle back on that, and that's coming up after our command series. We're going to really focus on that home buyer kit, but you can reach out to us individually for seller and or buyer tips on terms of presentations. So then the next slide, I think you
Okay,
said was
and
the
I'll
IG.
just say, actually, after the last team meeting, when we showed this, one of our agents actually started implementing it right away and doing virtual home buyer seminars. And
Yes.
they're working with a vendor partner, and it's like awesome. And it's already been successful. So do it, you know?
Yeah, there's another one. I don't know if you're talking about Karen. I know she did one too.
Oh, no, somebody else.
Yeah,
It was me.
Karen did one as well.
Great.
And in terms of Instagram, we did an intro to Instagram, but Instagram is a great way. It's very visual. And so it's a great way to capture images of your listings. Reach out to us because we were talking about how to not only integrate your posts, but also to gain traction and actually to have your stories. If you have not integrated your live IG video component, it's called the IGTV. Reach out to me and I can walk you through how to create that as well. But Instagram is a great way to connect with your millennials and to really push out your listings, and or even if you have buyers and they're looking for something specific, it's a great way to add that if you're so inclined, but I can definitely help you with that as well, or we can.
Cool.
The next one.
Yep.
Oh, sorry.
So then you have your using polls, and it's just other
Yes, so
features
the
of
polls
Instagram.
also are a great way. I've found the best effective way is to couple your post with a story and then also videos. The one thing I'll say about videos, more so for Facebook, which there's the same owner for Instagram, the key component to any videos, it's unrealistic, but this is how they do it from an SEO perspective. If you have a video that's 15 seconds or less, you have greater exposure. So we can help you do that in terms of coming up with these short snippet videos. And what that does from an SEO standpoint is it raises your visibility. So it increases more across both IG and also Facebook. So utilizing stories with those videos is a huge boost for SEO.
Cool.
Let's see. Call to action. We talked about call to action. I know I scored some points with Nicole in my last presentation, but really just hitting home, not only for Instagram, but for anything that you're doing, whether it's a smart plan, whether it's just a Facebook post, whatever it is, making sure you have a clear call to action on all of your social media feeds is huge, because you don't want to be stagnant. You want to be dynamic. You want to have that conversation, a two-way conversation, and not just a one-way conversation where you're doing all the talking.
Cool. And then sharing success stories is another really good one, because, and it really helps. Like, we have agents that leverage, boy, do they leverage when they close a transaction. They post it everywhere. And then when they get a new listing, and what it does is it reminds people, oh, okay, this person is doing real estate. They're busy. They're, you know, they're my go-to person. It mentions outfront.kw.com. We don't have really enough time because I got to jet off soon, but maybe I'll share. So I do want to tell you, though, that Daniel Rood was featured in an article that just came out in Outfront. So you should check it out about Facebook ads. And it's actually a really good article. It shows what people, like, it's like a top 3 or top few agents that have had really good successes with Facebook ads, and what the ads were that they did and how the results that they got. So check it out. It's a good article, and it's pretty cool that Daniel's in it too. And then let's just go. So then in new and designs, hopefully you're checking your designs. When you go in there, you'll notice there's new templates that they keep adding. So there's like the socially distant road trip now, where it's like choose your one that you want, which is kind of a fun thing people are doing right now on social media. There's some other ones too. There's the Millionaire Real Estate Agent Energy Plan. There's like a stay-at-home day challenge, which Dylan did on his, and I was trying to interact with it. And I was like, why can't I interact with it? So I don't know, but he actually did this, which was kind of fun. And then these little, you know, again, you can use these as templates. There's the leader one, and then there's the client communication kits, which is pretty cool. So it talks about things like mortgage modification. If you want to use these as touches for your clients, they're good. There's a summer projects one. And then we talked about this last time. So I don't know, do we need to go into the safety on open houses? I don't know how many of you are doing it. I mean, some people are still doing it. We know we have to schedule appointments. It's just more about safety, not just health safety, but physical safety. Right now, you can never be too safe. I mean, with not having as many people on the island, it actually technically is probably a little bit safer, but there's a lot of scary stuff going on out there right now. You probably heard the updates on the quarantine. So inter-island quarantine is back in effect as of 2 days ago. And what that means, as a reminder, is people can travel from here to Oahu or from any outer island to Oahu, not be quarantined when they're on Oahu, but then when they come back, they're quarantined. You're quarantined for 14 days. So just be aware, yes, there are certain exemptions. Yes, you can try to file. There's a process to go about that, but just know that that's back in effect. So be aware. And we are anticipating that EGA is going to announce that they're going to extend the Trans-Pacific travel quarantine as well. The big joke that went on yesterday, I don't know if you guys saw this, is that they're putting up barricades at the building downtown, the government, or whatever it is, I guess it's the state building, it's where we go when we go for where the government sits. In Honolulu, and then nobody mentioned anything about it. It wasn't on the news, and everybody's like, why are they putting up barricades, like concrete barricades in front of there? And I don't know, we think I was joking, but not really, that they're getting ready to make another announcement. So I'm sure we'll get that soon. All right, that's what I have today, you guys. Do you have anything that was not covered that you want to cover? Anybody have questions?
I have a question. This is Katie.
Hi, Katie.
Hi. I heard through Coconut Wireless that our closed transactions are being reviewed by somebody other than our broker. And so I was wondering if there was an update on that I must have missed, and how it will affect us, and if we have to do anything different.
Sure, good question. Yes, so what we did is we instituted what we call a compliance officer, which is very common for other Keller Williams offices. And what that means is that now on the final review, so Craig Carter, who's also a transaction coordinator, is our main compliance officer. And so he's getting, and I don't know if this is actually, I didn't announce it because I didn't know if it would officially, I knew he was doing some files for some people, but I don't know. Last time I saw him, which was just last week, it sounded like he was not doing all the files yet. So but it is in the works, so you should know about it. And what that means is when your property is, say, a week out, whenever the broker would normally review it prior to closing, now it gets reviewed by the compliance officer, which if you have a transaction coordinator, they should know to communicate. And he has access to the files because he's set up in our system that way. So he can go into opportunities and look at the files. And he's just checking I's dotted, T's crossed, all the documents are there. I mean, he's overlooking it a little bit, but he isn't a broker. He's just making sure that all the paperwork is there that you need to get paid. Now, if there's a broker issue, the broker should always handle that. And throughout the transaction, that would be the case as well. It's really just making sure the file is there and that everything is there that we need and everything is signed that we need, so that we're keeping a complete record of the file. And no, I don't think you need to do anything differently, but I will find out for you. And if Michelle were on this call, she could tell us. I will make sure that if there is something you need to do differently, that we send an email out to you and let you know.
Thank you. And then I know, I'm sure somebody's already talked to him about time intervals, that they don't follow the normal path. So just wanted
Right. Yeah. Let me, I'll have that conversation as well. Thank you. Perfect. Great. Anything else, you guys? Okay. Thank you so much. Have a great day. You guys are awesome.
Have a good day.
Thank you.
Aloha.
Okay. Bye.